Welcome back to Made Up of Wires, end of the year stream. Merry New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. We're going to finish off Karsuman today, I think. So we'll get right into it. Go to soten.z.dev to learn more about the Symphony of the Night decompilation project. If you're not familiar with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I highly recommend whatever plans you have for tonight, just discard them and dive into the game. It's a great game. I'm kidding. Spend time with the people you love. That's better. A better game. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start with the last function remaining, which is the Raven attack. And as always, I'm going to start with, or as usual, I'm going to start with the PlayStation version, and then we'll pull in the PSP version when we get there. And I say it every time I do it, but the reason I start with the PlayStation version, the PSP version has better assembly, easier to read assembly for a human. However, the idioms and way that M2C, which is our what we use as the initial decompiler, seems to be tuned better for GCC output, optimized GCC output. And I like, in general, the decompilation I get from it better than the PSP version. So I typically start here and then switch over. I'm going to do a few things. So we took the assembly from the game, and we're going to do a few things to clean this up before we get started. I like putting a function signature in and getting the right argument names. I don't think that there's anything really else that we need to do with that. We just have to go through and figure out all the compiler errors. Figure out what variables there are. I usually get rid of function declarations. Hey, Entity Gravity Well. The no-shaven New Year's Eve stream. That's right. I'll grow a beard until my wife says shave, which probably was 3 days ago. But I've been busy. All right, let's see. We have this global up here, probably an animate entity. Yeah, so that's going to be a unsigned 8 array. And then we have a few things down here on 73. So these are pulling from the Karsuman entity extension, and it looks like this is the parent pointer. So I'm going to grab that from yesterday's stream, and we'll pull that in here, and that's already in a source repo. Alright, what else do we need here? Let's go through and fix this. So temp S3 is going to be a entity pointer. I'll probably end up renaming it entity because we've seen in the past that it may point to a couple different things. It might point to player. If not, we can call it parent, but for now, we'll leave it like this. And so that'll go into the Karsuman entity extension. Now we have a bunch of offsets because I couldn't figure these out. Some of them are straightforward and we could probably just reason about. Unknown 2, which is offset 2 in that struct, and unknown 6. Those are probably pos xi high and pos yi high. Unknown 86 is a little trickier. I'm going to assume that it's in the Karsuman extension, and we have that as flag 2. And those have been used as booleans, so I'm gonna use it like that. In anticipation that that's what's gonna happen. So the tricky one then is 26. And my guess is that 26 is flags, if I remember correctly. Maybe not, but I don't remember offhand. So let's go look it up, and that'll be in game.h. And I think we should just be able to look for offset 26. Oh, it's entity ID, not flags. Entity ID is basically the type of entity that we're looking at. And we're there at 87%. So the next thing I'm going to do, get rid of some of these other globals while we're here. So we put these symbols in, not to be used directly, but just as placeholders. Maybe we should come up with a convention for placeholder symbols. They're easy to recognize once you know what they are. And then this last one is a type einit. And einit is an array, and so we don't have to use a reference to it because it's already there. All right, so it looks like we actually have a stack out of order issue, which isn't a huge deal. That should work itself out as we get through things. 44, it looks like there's some optimization around destroy entity being reused places, and step being reused places. We'll untangle those go-tos, and then that should, I think, fix that. So let's find people who are using block 25. So I point this out every time, but it's also for my own advantage and remembering what's going on, my own benefit. When we jump to a label, we also have to consider all the control flow, not just the statement immediately following that label, but all the control flow that follows that label as well. So when we jump to block 25, we're going to destroy entity, and then we're going to break. So we can't just replace the go-to with destroy entity, even though that's what we want to do. We need to make sure that it also breaks out of the switch. And in this case, it looks like all of these do, and so we can safely replace this with destroy entity. In this case, I would like to invert this, because I think that makes more sense, and put the destroy entity and then probably a return up here. And there's no difference between the break and a return in this case. It just gets us one less level of indenting, which I'm guessing is the case. So this is a little strange. This is a positive integer for opacity, F0, which is, I can never remember these. F0 is 240, not a number that I would think about. I guess FF would be 256 or 255, so minus the F is 240. That makes sense. But here we're doing a plus equals, but it's actually a subtraction. It's a minus equals 8. All right, so is that Oh, we have, so block 25 is taken care of. And we need to get rid of block 23. And that's basically the same thing. We're incrementing the step and then breaking out of the loop. Or breaking out of the switch, sorry. And my guess is, again, that we probably just need the step statement, but in case we need something more, just want to remember that. So in this case, we're incrementing. And then control flow does break us out of the switch. And we don't have any more. I somewhat screwed that up. Caught the break in the else there, but it shouldn't have been there. And now what did I do? Oh, there is one more block 23. Oh, I undid. I undid a little too far. So 97%, still looking good. And so that did take care of the destroy entity call, put it in the right place. It looks like probably some variables that don't really need to be variables. So things are getting screwed up. Actually here, might be as simple as switching that to a plus instead of a plus equals 1. Don't ask me why, but GCC will treat those differently. I think we have a Carson label variable already. And if this is similar to the other function, which my guess is it is, we effectively were using that same variable outside and then using it as an argument inside. That didn't completely help, but maybe finishing these off. So these are going to be times 64 instead of a shift by 6. Temp B0 underscore 2 should be assigned 16. It is. That's good. We'll rename it angle. We have macros for square. I really don't like it because I think it's easier to read the multiplication, but other people like it. Should just have a Pythagorean theorem macro and reduce the whole thing. Here this looks like a division by 2. Is that what we're looking at here, or a division? Sorry, a division by 4. So opacity is getting set, and so we can rename this variable opacity. And we're setting the opacity here to opacity divided by 2. But here we're checking greater than equal, or greater than 15, or greater than equals 16. And since we're doing the divide by 2 here, I think we can get rid of all this then. But that's not coming up the way I thought it would. Oh, divided by 4, sorry. There we go. So still a few things around this get normal angle function. It looks like possibly a variable issue, but maybe the order of this assignment. I'm going to rename some of these other ones, and then we'll get this cleaned up and move over to the PSP to finish it off. I think in general, though, this is going pretty well. It should be relatively straightforward. Temp 0 is only being used for parent, so I'll name it that. We have a random roll here. This is the same as a float 0.5. Hey, Heavy Metal Mixer, good to have you. The VAR S2 seems unnecessary. Or the Temp A0 is probably the better one to get rid of. I don't think Temp A0 is necessary. Oh. There we go. In this case, we have something much smaller. I'm not reasoning about it in my head, getting the base 16 in there. So if this was 8,000, it would be half as a fixed value, but it's not. It's just 800 hex. That's 1/32. All right, let's keep going with these and see which of these are gone now. Temp S0, probably the same variable. I'm going to reuse var S2 down there for that. It could also be angle. We don't know. This is a multiply by 128, and then a shift back to the integer portion. Let's do that. There may be something more there that GCC is consolidating. And then do I have float to fix? Float to I is what I want. That's a little nicer. Okay. Oh, that's strange. So, okay, it did change it. I didn't notice, but I missed that temp S0 shouldn't have been there. Temp A0 is gone. RS2, I know that is like the random seed for a bunch of these. So if we divide by another 8 or multiply by another 8, 64, 128, 256, 256. Yeah, that is correct. Oh no, it's not, because this is in floats, so that will be 1/16. So anything to the PlayStation SDK, any real number that gets passed there, we call an FLT or a float. It is a PlayStation fixed point number. Then we have the Konami fixed point numbers, which are 1616 values. All right, so I haven't been making any progress getting this any closer through any of this variable cleanup. Temp has 3, we're still using that. Let's change that to parent as well. That helped a little. So the only, we have 3 vars. There's still some issue with registers, but I think this is pretty good overall. Oh, was this originally a fall through? Did I delete the fall through? Usually M2C will tell me that this is a fall through. Let's double check it. It'll put a comment there. There is no jump, so it is a fall through. Odd that M2C didn't find that case. Because it found this one down here. That's okay. All right, so I think I'm happy with this, and then we'll create a new scratch for the PSP version. And hopefully there's not much change, but you never know. And I don't think anything has changed with with the context, but that's not true, is it? We have the updated entity. And so already we have a bunch of stuff here that looks wrong-ish. So too much on the stack. So we have fewer variables than I have. Hey, Willie OD, good to have you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year's Eve. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. So this actually has a bunch of code before the switch. No, it doesn't. Oh, the switch is missing cases. So we have a bunch of cases here that aren't actually there. I think are we generating a jump table? No. Let's look at what M2C says about this. I think that the other cases might be there and might just be fall through breaks. So, oh no, it's my fault. I'm the one generating all this. Okay, so this is a little odd. Let's go look at the assembly real fast and see. Okay, there is no jump table here, which I would expect if more of these were filled in. I'm not clear, and I've not looked into it deeply to determine when jump tables are or are not created by MetroWorks. It looks like there might be Might be something going on. Okay. So this does start off with a switch, just like we have. So in a regular switch means oh, crazy. Regular switch means that it's implemented as if-else conditions. There's actually just a ton of code that's not here. Is this even the right function? Is it possible that we got the wrong... Oh, it is the wrong function. This is feather attack. I need raven attack. So we're going to delete that and start over. Thank you, Cristiano. Oh, good to have you back, Cristiano. It's been a while. All right, let's get Raven attack. Do the right thing, and maybe it'll work out a little better. All right, that's more like it. So we still do have one additional variable that we're going to have to deal with, but that's all. Rams is a truthy check. We'll kind of go through and just find where the issues are and then move on from there. 33. Yeah, I kind of thought this might be the case. So we have... I called this parent, but really it should be called entity because we're going to use it for the player as well. And that's just the style that this person chose when they were implementing it. And it's nice that we have enough context to deal with that. But we can see that this is being pulled into a variable, and then that variable is being used. So we have a reference to a local instead of a reference to that global pointer. Down on 51, it's like these are probably out of order. So we do need our call to random. It looks like maybe we're reading offset X and offset Y. First. And then using those down here instead. Not quite. Definitely the wrong types for offset X and offset Y. So we have a sign extension. I'm gonna back that out. So we're loading offset. Oh yeah, I should have paid a little bit closer attention. Offset 20 is on the stack, and then from offset 20, we're loading 9C, offset 9C. Do we have that in Karasuman? Is that set? We do. Oh, it's the parent. Okay, so we're pulling the parent pointer. And then using that. That would be a little different, I think, from what is there, or what, maybe not, maybe the PlayStation version was doing that and that's one of the mistakes, but it could be a bug fix as well. So let's do that. Let's grab entity, and we're getting that from self ext Karasuman. parent. So yeah, that is that load, and then it looks like, are we using that? No, we're not doing it with it anymore. So it's a dead store. All right. This may be a plus equals. I should have caught that earlier. There we go. And that's the kind of thing that may clean up the GCC compilation. And 69. So the PSP uses global variables for the entity IDs versus constants. So we do have to resolve that. That does mean going to the NZ1 and trying to remember what these offsets are. So we need X49, which is 73. So 73 plus 35 is 108. I don't think fleet armor makes sense. Oh, because it was 4F, not 49. So that's plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Karasuman makes much more sense. So we're going to have to make a definition for that up here. Let's see. If we're the PSP version, we're going to define EID. Is that the right? To be this. Otherwise, that's going to be 4F. And now we'll use that instead down there. All right, so here we have some variable mismatch. Is this 80? This may be in the middle of an expression, though. Maybe not. Yeah, so it's where the result is going. So let's see if S1 and S2 are used anywhere else. If they're being used the same way throughout, then that's fine. So they are. I just need to figure out what the broken variable is. So that's fine for now. Same with S4 and S5. As long as all those are being used the same way, that's fine. All right, 100. It looks like I have my expression wrong. So I changed this to a greater than from a greater than equals. It looks like the expression is backwards. And I'm going to try it this way. I usually like it after destroy entity doing a return right away. And that looks like that is how it was written. So it looks like the last thing really is just I have one more variable than is necessary. So let's figure out what that variable is. Possibly opacity. So two variables are going to merge into one. And so to do that, we're going to go through and figure out which register is being assigned to each variable. So right now, var S2 is in S1. I laugh because it's kind of funny that S2 is being called S1. My guess is this opacity variable should be the same thing. Let's go down and look at opacity on 96. No, it is a different variable. So opacity is S4. Nope, it is S2. Angle. Angle is S1. So angle and var S2 are the same. So let's call var S2. Oh, it's being assigned to rotate, so angle is fine to use there as well. Yeah, and getting past here, so that makes sense. It looks like I have a... I defined that macro wrong. That's right. This is what I should be doing. Okay, a few more. So our stack is correct now. The last ones are a few more register issues down here on 92. So it looks like offset X and Y are not quite right. Maybe declared in opposite order? Nope. That did help a little bit, but I don't think that's the underlying issue. All right, so there's no other assignment directly to it. And then we're done with it. So I offset X. I'm going to look at M2C, cheat a little bit, see what's going on here. What I want to see is S4 getting computed first? It is, and so this is all the same order. We have our division that generates the same code basically that GCC does. Our types are wrong. I think these are signed 16s. No, they are not. Definitely not signed 16s. Ooh. Who would suggest such a thing? Let's put these. It was the order that the variables were defined, and of course, why would it be anything different? Love to see it. Well, that was at least easy. So I think that's it. Let's copy this back, see if that resolved. So the things that probably resolved the remaining issues on the PlayStation side are things that maybe we would have found, maybe not. So combining var s2 and angle, that was probably the one that did it. I will have to see. Was there possibly pulling the player entity out into a variable? Not there, but the one further down where it's done, or further up. Yeah, here. Possibly that would affect GCC's compilation. I doubt it, but it's possible. And yeah, that fixes everything. My guess is that it was var s2 and angle being combined into the same thing. And I might just screw that up altogether. All right, so I don't need this. I'm going to move it over to the context. I do need the rest. And let's see if this compiles. And it does. So I want to check if this is defined multiple places. It is. And so we're kind of in the same spot for this function as the others, where this one's a little easier. Because there's only one global, so it's probably worth moving this into the PSP as well. The entity ID thing may be an issue. Let's see. So I will have to map that, but that's fine. It needs to be mapped anyway. So let's do that first. We're going to grab this. We're going to grab the global variable for Karasuman and go map that. It will require a change to init, because I'm sure that is being used, but we'll see. So we're going to look for everything that might already be using that. I don't think it'll be much. Nothing. I thought that was decompiled already. So there's basically an initializer constructor function that gets called on the PSP when a level gets loaded in to set all these global variables to their correct value. It's a little odd because it could have been done. None of them that I've seen require anything but static initialization. So I'm not sure why, and nothing ever otherwise mutates these values. So it just is something that has a potential to cause problems and doesn't really provide any solution. So I'm not sure exactly why it exists that way. Let's declare our do we already have Karasuman? We don't have Karasuman yet, but let's declare him. And then should be enough to get the PSP version. And I don't have Orbitac in there, probably for the same reason. So that will be correct. We should have one more, which is this global down here. And I think init is actually going to be the same. So I think those are mapped already. Yep. Yeah. That is fine. Okay, so I think that's enough to get this working on the PSP. And it is. All right, so that's Karsuman. The next steps for Karsuman are going to be moving all the data in. I'm not sure how much data there is. We can get a sense for that, but all the code is done now. We should map this to Karsuman. So it looks like Karsuman is going to start at 1138 THX. 1138. If you know, you know. We'll leave it as data now. And how far down are we going to go? Nobody knows. Oh, actually to the end. We do know. So all of the data that's in here is for Karsuman. And so the next thing is ST update. We know that that data is not Karsuman. So we know where the data is as well, which is good. And I think we know where RO data is for Karsuman as well. Yes. There's probably BSS for Karsuman, I'm guessing. And we'll get to that when we get to it. But that's it. We're, like I said, code complete for Karsuman. We have, how much? 300-ish lines of data to transcribe one way or another. Hopefully not too bad. And then we can submit it. So, what have we been doing? As always, decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night, losing our graphs when I switch off the tab. We're working on the clock tower. And looks like we just finished the Karsuman boss. I can somewhat see why Karsuman isn't a boss, because the code is extremely simple, and as we joke about, and if you've ever played the game, you just stagger him into a corner and he doesn't do anything anyway, so all the code that is there is largely superfluous anyway. But pretty simple, kind of major-ish mini-boss enemy that has a bit more code than most others. But go to soten.z.dev to learn more about the Symphony of the Night decompilation project, and I will see you all next year. Adios.